Okay, Chevre, I apologize for the coat, but we're staying warm. Before we start Pedicure Bays, I just want to say that, obviously, each of us are meant to be in a perpetual state of war. I think we should have gotten the message when the Rebbe made the children's campaign, Tzivus Hashem, to be a soldier, to be mamish every minute in a milchama, and to understand that what it means to serve Hashem is that there's a battle, and at every moment the Nefesh HaBahamis is a Melech Zokin Uksil. He's trying to outsmart us, like the Trojan horse story. You know the Trojan horse story? I don't think it belongs in a Shir Tanya, but basically in a nutshell, in one of the stories, the Greek history and whatever it was, the enemy sent a gift, a sculpted horse, and inside the horse were hiding like Navy SEALs. And they put this gift in the palace. And then at night they went out, and the soldiers, and they did whatever they needed to do. So the Nefesh HaBahamis is always sending troops. He's every second. I think that thinking about the Mendel Futtefas, the sense was that he was mamish every second, like a warrior. He was mamish on fire every second of his life, and incredible awareness and passion, fire, mamish, unbelievable. And that's what it is to be a Beinoni. You can't, when people fight in the ring, the referee tells you, you have to protect yourself at every second. You have to protect, you can never say, oh, he wasn't supposed to hit me. You have to protect yourself every second. Then at the Shabbat is every second. And that's the Beinoni. So we're going to start Pedicure Bays, and hopefully we're going to finish Pedicure Bays. And everything that we're doing is against every lesson in chinuch, pedagogy, and just pashut frontal teaching, and we'll cover the ground. Pedicure Bays. Rabbeinu says, who? We learned about Tzadik V'Tevle, Tzadik V'Rale. We learned about Rosha V'Tevle, Rosha V'Rale. There's a Beinoni. A Beinoni is the one, Shala Oilam Ein Hara Geiver Kol Kach. At no point ever, La Oilam. Now, the Rebbe uses very strong language here, very extreme language. The Beinoni is the balanced guy, and there's a lot of extreme language. Shela Oilam Ein Hara Geiver Kol Kach. At no point does the Ra in him become victorious enough. Lichpeish Asa'ir Ktana. At no point is the Ra in him strong enough to activate the body. Lehislabish beguf lehachtiyoi, to cause the body to sin. I just want to say lehachtiyoi. In other words, the Nefesh HaBahamis does have access. It will throw ideas into his brain, but he doesn't have enough sticking power for him to become tamei through it. Dahainu, what does this mean? Sheshlei shalom l'shei nefesh habam is the three garments which are machshava dibur u'maisa shemitzavat klipa. Ein gevrim bei al nefesh alikis. They never overpower the godly soul. Lehislabish beguf b'mayach u'bepeh u'b'sha'ara machivarim, in the eyes and the ears. Lehachtiyom u'letamam chas v'shalom, to defile them. To defile the different parts of the body. the thought, speech, or action. At no point can he overpower rak. So what? So now the question becomes: so what happens? Rak shleish levushei nefesh alikis exclusively. I said that too soon. Rak shleish levushei nefesh alikis heim levadam exclusively. Heim levadam, they alone are mislapshim b'guf. What does it mean that the nefesh elikis alone is active in the body? At all times he's serving Hashem. Everything he does is serving Hashem. Mitzvahs, learning Torah, everything. He never sinned. What does it mean he never sinned? The Rebbe writes that it's pshita, it's borur, I think is the Rebbe's lashon. It's clear. It's clear that we don't mean that he never sinned. What does it mean? V'lei avar aveira miyamo. V'lei avar aveira means
that's who comes when you say no, he never sinned.
It says in Pirkei Avos that aveira geireres aveira. Right? Obviously, when a person does an aveira, it leaves a reishim and it draws them. They're attracted to. It's just this. I know you know it by heart, but just in case. So, the zero is either before or at the end. In other words, the
it
address.
Doesn't even matter. Yeah, it's instead of the 2 is 0.
Anyway.
It's not in order.
So Akopanim. So what does it mean? That there's nothing in him that draws him. There's nothing in his history that's attracting him to sin. He's not drawn to it. That Akopanim. He did tshuva and it's clean. Whatever happened in the past, where he stands right now, he's clean.
That's only a partial part of it, of sinning. There's the initial time when you sin as well. Meaning, it's saying that he's clean. I'm getting the point that whenever he became a Beinoni, he sort of neutralized to the point where he doesn't have any of that. But even at that point, he still has the fight of the same, like the person who never made an Avera to begin with.
The fight he's going to talk about, yeah. But the Mashiach,
he's saying that there was a certain tshuva that happened, even though he became a Beinoni after the fact.
That it's as if he never
at the point of when he became a Beinoni, it brings him to a neutral state of zero.
He never will do an Avera. What does it mean he never will? He never will means that whatever test he's going to have, the reason he does the right thing now is not because the circumstances are good. He's so strong that whatever test you would throw at him right now, he could withstand. There's another aspect of this point of layaver la'olam. He will never sin. He will never sin means, like, there are certain things that a person who's raised from, it's mufrach to him. Right? He's not going to eat chazer. Right? Yeah.
Chazer is...
He's not, right? So, it's not a question of, maybe it tastes good. It's a kumpnishten batracht. It doesn't enter. Layaver la'olam means, it doesn't occur to him. There's no, it's just off the radar. It's just not an option. V'lei nikra, the Rebbe goes further. V'lei nikra olav shem rasha, afilu shah achaz v'rega echad kol yamav. Even to get the called a rasha, meaning not a true title, shem hatoyar, but shem hamushal. Shem hamushal of rasha is in like these slight, like taivas heter, like he had he's entertaining to do something but just for the sake of taiva. So where Chazal would call him a Rasha, so he says not even that. So now the question becomes, if the Beinani is in such a massive, if the Beinani is someone who never did an Aveil, the Nefesh Abamis can absolutely not control any part of it. And he was not loy ovar, loy yavar, right? He was never a Rasha, he will never be. So Ebazoi.
I don't know.
Why is he not a tzaddik?
Maybe 5-year-old kid.
You know,
A Beinani should be a 50% success rate.
Right? That would make life easy. Half the time you do a mitzvah, half the time you do an avera.
He's Beinani plus.
Plus max.
Was it said about him actually? Did ever said about him that he's a Beinani? I'm asking.
I felt the mistake. Not the But I like this Beinani plus.
No, you know, the word judge can be used as a noun and a verb. What's Meichen the Godless? Also goes into this Indian. Davening is a time of Meichen the Godless. What does that mean? Before davening, the way the world is, it stays. Hashem created the world. There's a certain way, the way that it's supposed to run. That's it. What happens when we daven? When we daven, we're asking him to revisit. We're like, maybe, did you consider maybe changing the rules?
An appeal.
Right. So in that time, there has to be Meichen the Godless. There has to be an opening of a broader view in order to reconsider. So davening, that's the time of Meichen the Godless. There's more flexibility, there's more openness, Lamaila. Similarly, so that's Lamaila. So the Gam Lamata, so also by the person, because that's what's happening, it's also a Shas HaKosher. Because the heavens open up, we open up. It's a Shas HaKosher by us. L'kol Adam. For everybody. Sha'oz Mekasher Chabad Shalei L'Hashem. During davening, through his Beinanus, a person connects their mind. So the first part is to connect themselves to Hashem, meaning my focus is on Hashem. Focus is a Meichen the Godless process. Meichen the Katnus means I can't focus.
But doesn't the focus happen because you actually withdrawing from the world?
We're talking about in other words,
Again, from his point of view, yes, he's going deeper into his,
so you're
broadening
going to
his mind.
Why?
Saying how he does it.
No, you're saying, you know what happens when a person's mind is weak? He can't stay focused. Why? Because he gets distracted by the world. The person with Meichen the Godless also has distractions from the world, but he's able to focus.
Yeah, but he's not challenging the world. He's not focusing on. He's focusing on himself, on his Meichen the Godless.
He's focusing on the Eibishter. He's
Exactly.
being mind. He's mekasher. His
he's
mind
putting the world.
with Hashem.
He's not trying to figure out the world during davening.
Right.
So he's withdrawing, but
Fine. Okay. To think about the greatness of Hashem. To think about the greatness of Hashem, that's going to, first of all, he's going to love Hashem. The godless Hashem brings out Ava. The Gedula, there's an attraction to the Gedula of Hashem. So Ula Eider, and so Ava, to awaken, Ava Karish Be'esh B'chol Ha'imani Shebeliba. That is Nefesh Alikis should become impassioned, excited about Alikus. Now, like we learned Shabbos in the Maimer, what does Ava, in this form, what does Ava do? Ava is like a person who's excited about what they do, and they want to get like more into it, right? Like in a classroom setting or in a family setting, it's like the parent that comes home and is excited to come home, and the parent says, today I'm going to say something nice to each kid. I'm going to check into everyone how they're doing. I'm going to tell my wife I'm so happy to see her. Because there's an ava in what he's doing. The ava is ava gluya. The ava drives kiyum mitzvahs. He's doing things. Why? Because he's excited. The teacher came in. He said, "Today I'm not just going to teach the lesson. Today I'm going to call this kid by his name. I'm going to attention to this one. I'm going to extend the." All of that, what's it driven by? It's driven by ava. Right? In the workforce, a person comes to, says, today I'm going to smile at my customers. I'm going to tell the boss he's awesome. That's, the ava is driving the mitzvahs. So that's what the Alter Rebbe says. L'dovka b'y v'kiyum ateiru mitzvahsel me'ava. From the ava, it's like the Eibusha is the most amazing thing. I got to serve him. Shazeu inyan hamavur b'krishma de'iraisa. That's the point of Shema. Then he says, in other words, Shema has three things. Shema is meditation, machshava. V'ahavta is the leiv. What does it say later? Ukshartam leis, uksaftam, v'dibarta bom. What do you mean? I love Hashem. Okay, let's do this. I want to be in a relationship. There's a whole Torah here about the lachrel. The brachas of Shema before Shema. Basically, there's a famous Rashba. The Alter Rebbe brings it later in Tanya. The Rashba says, when you do a mitzvah, you make a bracha. You take a lulav, you say, Asher kichonu mitzvah v'tzivon. It's kiyum ma'krishma. It's all part of the program. That's the Rashba. So then, what's the lachrel? The lachrel, we have another. There's another Tanya there also, the brown Tanya. The bracha lacharel is to help Shema last through the day. The hemshech of Shema. Right? Because the point of Shema is that you should be doing mitzvahs in the continuation of the day. So, says the Alter Rebbe, Hein, they are, the brachas are hachana l'kiyum ha'krishma mishkasim makam acher v'oz during davening harash b'chol ha'asmali kaful for bottle l'toyev. It's right, the ra is bottled during davening. The toyev, which is mispashet b'chol ha'imani, which where is it coming from? Mechabad shebemayach. Remember that it's the mind really. And the mind is a very important element here, because the Alter Rebbe is gonna. Where the Alter Rebbe is going now is to talk about how the Beinoni is going to control himself the rest of the day. And he's going to use the mind to control himself, not so much the heart. As much as he loves Hashem, sometimes he just, it's the Mayach, and it's, the Alter Rebbe is going to call it the Ratzon in the Mayach. Like a determination. Like, I don't want to do something, like, I know that if it's like, I want to smoke. But I know that I can't stop with one cigarette. So my will, I want it, but my will, which is in my mind, is going to stop me. The Ratzin Shebemayach is going to control. So it's all the Mayach that's really creating this whole after davening. The godless and save Baruch Hu, when that moment of godless amechin goes away, the Ra awakens again. The Ra still has a Mashiach to pleasure.
So that's the reason why you can't rely on the heart. He has to constantly be.
Yeah, he's gonna
constantly be focusing on the Mayach.
He has to have the battle. So the Ra wakes up again. You know, we're probably, this should be said in Perek Yud Gimel. But there are a few versions of the way this point is made. But while you were davening, the Yetzer Hara was sleeping. Most people, when they sleep,
He's
sleep, what
hiding out.
happens when they wake up?
He's giving you a few minutes.
The best business ideas
They're refreshed.
while we're davening.
So while we were davening, the Nefesh HaBamis was hopping a nap.
No.
And then when he comes back well rested. That's like that expression about doing push-ups in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's like that expression.
That's it.
Upon Iraq. Because the Nefesh HaBamis, he's not the only one that has a say in the guf. So therefore, he can't actualize his taiva. He wants, he's attracted, he's drawn, but he can't do anything. Meaning, lehislavish be'vari aguf, be'maisa dibur, the word mamish belongs to machshava. Umachshava mamish. In other words, there are hirhurim. It could pop into your brain, but the word machshava means that I choose to think this. So the Alter Rebbe says machshava mamish. It doesn't have the ability to really get you thinking willingly that you should start thinking about the guys. We're gonna get together. Whose car are we gonna take? Where are we going?
What is it saying that the Nefesh HaLokis plays an intrinsic part on the physical parts of the body, meaning the actual molecules, meaning the physical sense?
Here he's speaking about the Here he's speaking about the Nefesh HaBamis. The Nefesh HaBamis has
but
a
it's saying
time.
that the Nefesh HaBamis cannot make a judgment or a thought,
Right, so-
a complete thought. So that means that the neshama,
The Nefesh HaLokis,
the Nefesh HaLokis,
he's-
physically plays a role in.
he says,
Because you're
Ki
controlling it.
ameach shalit al alev. Because the mind, shalit, again, remember he's containing it. He's controlling it. Meshkos Vayim Parshas Pinchas. The Zohar says that it's bitul dosei, that's the way it's naturally. The Teva Yitzirasi, that's the way Hashem designed it. We stand. The mind is on top, the heart is below. This is where, all the Mashpiyim tell the story of Rav Moshe Meisels with Napoleon, that he put his hand on his heart. There are different ways that the story is told. Some of them are more dramatic. That first, actually, Rav Moshe Meisels that Napoleon suspected him particularly, and Rav Moshe Meisels was afraid. And then he remembered that the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, what do you mean, b'teva? So then he was able to neutralize himself. Shekach neitzer adam b'tel
If he
dosa.
wasn't a spy, his heart rate would have spiked.
Okay.
Yeah, even
Shekol
non-spies.
adam. Every person, yachel v'rtzoynei shebemoichel. You see, the rotzain in the moyach, right? Like determination. Leis apik v'lim shoel beruach ta'avasi shebelibay, to control his desire. Shalei l'malis mishalis libay, not to do what he wants. He wants, but he won't do it. B'ma'isa divur u'machshav. And then what happens? Ula'asiyach daite legamri, to distract himself completely. B'taibes libay el ha'hepech legamri. Not only could you control, but you could take yourself el ha'hepech legamri. The mind could take you completely to the other side. I just want to say that, I think I mentioned this once, that, years ago when I was just raising the first children, I used to try to distract them when they were, when they were being difficult. I would try to distract them. And then I forgot about that technique. I forgot about it. And then I read I was reminded. And it's just such an incredible tool. And for some people, for some children, it's necessary. They must be distracted. And really, the child inside us also distraction is an important key, especially in the world of anxiety. You can't tackle anxiety head on.
Stress because person has one thought. People have stress because they have one makshova.
Right.
And we can have only one. We cannot have two. Tzaddik can have.
So it's with what are you're gonna argue with them about why they're anxious?
Anti-inflammatory.
So you must, like, that's the way to go, and that's what the Alter Rebbe is saying. La siach daite. And elahefech lagamri, we have such a power. Our ability is so strong that we could literally go to the other direction. Ubefrat el tzad kedusha, especially when it's to the tzad of kedusha, kediksiv. Like it says in the pasuk, Shlomo HaMelech said, "V'ra'isi." I just want to mention that the pasuk really has the word ani after "v'ra'isi," but the Alter Rebbe leaves out ani. And in the early Kisvei Yad of Tanya, the word "v'ra'isi" is not there either, because it's not about Shlomo HaMelech; it's for everyone. So the Alter Rebbe takes out the ani. Shlomo HaMelech is saying that there's a yisrein lachachma min hasichlos, ki yisrein ha'er min ha'cheshach. That wisdom has an advantage over foolishness. Now we have a klal that anything that Shlomo HaMelech said, there has to be something really smart about it. He's a chacham. He's a oiver chacham. So the question is, everyone knows that to be smart is an advantage over being a fool. So what's the chiddush? What's he telling us? What did we learn? So there are two things that Shlomo HaMelech is saying. First of all, just like with light, a tiny bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. A little bit of wisdom dispels a lot of foolishness. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the way darkness goes away is by itself. It's like when the foolishness is exposed, everyone becomes quiet. It's not like there's nothing left to say. So the way that it does it is b'derech mamela. Let's see how the Alter Rebbe writes it. Pirush. K'meisha yesh leYisrael u'shlita u'memshala ala cheshach. Shema'at gashmi. It's a little bit of light, but it's doicha harbe min ha'cheshach.
It's like the Rebbe Shitta B'chlal not to fight with all of the negative stuff and just to continue positive, because it sort of eventually just dissipates.
Or like when you see the
By
puzzle.
fighting with it, you're wasting your energy. Then you don't have.
You
any
say, I
puzzle.
don't see how no one can see the puzzle anymore. Now that I just saw it, right?
And
That's the line.
and then he says, "Shenitcha mimenu me'elav u'memela." It just kach nitcha memela sichlus harbi shel haklipa. The nefesh habam is just toihu. It's a tremendous force. Still, a little bit of light. Sichlus harbi shel haklipa v'sitra achash v'chol asmali k'mayim b'razal. That the source of sin is elim kein nichos beiroch shtus v'chulu. It gets pushed away. The wisdom that's in the net. In other words, what is the nefesh alikis? It's not just a countering nefesh. It's a countering nefesh in the world of intelligence. It wants to be complete balabas. So, and that's what he wants. And he is able, with determination, to be complete balabas. Every once in a while, not every once in a while, all around us, we see people who conquered a certain weakness, and we're very impressed. Right? For some people, just to see someone who stopped smoking,
Almost weight.
it's like, it's amazing, yeah, right? It in a certain way, it's like, it's or that runs 10,000, 10,000 miles,
Steps.
right? 10 miles, right? It's like a certain, like a superhuman, right? The nefesh elikis has that power. The Afal Pikein still says the Alter Rebbe, "Ein ikar tzaddik klal." You're not a tzaddik.
Don't play games.
The Bein is still not a tzaddik. With all the power, he's not a tzaddik. Why? Mipnei sheyisrein hazeh, asher la'er nefesh alikis, ala cheshach v'sichlus shel haklipa, anim chememele. This advantage that the Nefesh Elikis has, that it just dispels the klipa, it's only dispelling it from being active in the body, but it's not removing the essence. In other words, in my heart, I still feel drawn to things that are prohibited. There's still narishkeit. He can't, he's not in a position to push away the essence. The nefesh abamis itself, the core, the character, was not pushed away one iota by a beinini acharat filu. She'ein rish be'esh avas Hashem bizgalus libe b'chol la'yimani. After davening, when the emotion dissipates, it fizzes out, it's not a time of davening anymore. It's not the time of moichin de gadlus. He's going out into the world. So he doesn't have that anymore. Ki'im, what is he left with? Toichoi rotzuf ava mesuteres. The ava mesuteres that he has to do the right thing, the commitment that we have to live an upright life, is rotzuf. It covers the surface. It coats the person's heart. That's the avativis shebenefesh elikis. The Alter Rebbe is going to speak about it in Zion and further Yudches ve'azai. At that time, yachal liyos sichos haksil harabias galos levi v'chol asmoli. The nefesh abamis wakes up. The foolishness comes out. Lisabes taimah lechol imyonei gashmius elam hazeh. Suddenly he has a desire. He wants gashmius. Vein beheter. Bein be'isur chas v'sholom. But the Alter Rebbe is going to, there's a caveat. Whatever type it is, ki'ilu loy hispalel klal, as if, yeah. Now, the only thing is, shebedavar isur. Remember, there's taivas heter and taivas isur. Taivas heter is kosher ice cream. Taivas isur, not kosher ice cream. I could say another mashal, maybe it would be more understood. But anyway. Yeah. Elo shebedavar isur, when it comes to aveira, eine eile bedaite lasis isur bepeil mamish chas v'sholom. It doesn't occur to him bepeil mamish. It's uncomfortable. Whatever. I have to be limited. You can't, in certain things, you can't speak beremes. Taivas heter is the eigener vibe. Taivas isur is yenem's vibe. But it's eine eile bedaite. It doesn't occur to him. I mean, let's be real. It doesn't occur to him to do something wrong like that. Elo. Hirhure aveira, hakoshime aveira. Hirhure aveira mean thoughts not willing. It's not machshava mamish. These things that pop into his brain. Hirhure aveira, hakoshime aveira. They could get into his brain. And those things are mevalbel. They're kosher me'aveira because they distract you. One of the things when they say, how do you know if a person is addicted to something? How do you know? Does it get in the way of his ordinary life? He can't go to school, he doesn't have a job, it gets in the way. So then they say then it's no good. So then, he's addicted to reading novels. Sometimes, anyway.
Terrible addiction.
Yeah. Because it's distracting him, he can't do the right thing.
Pictures.
Gimel Averis Ein Adam Nitzel Mehem B'chol Yom. The Gemara says there are 3 Averis that no one is spared. Hirir Avera Iyon Fila Chulu. The third one is Avat Lashon Hara. So there's a few things here about this Chazal. One is, what do you mean? Then there's no Beinini. The Gemara says 3 Averis Ein Adam Nitzel Mehem B'chol Yom. So there's no Beinini. So one way of understanding this, I think, I remember this, Sechatas Nurim. But I think the Rebbe says that it's Ein Adam Nitzel Mehen if you don't focus. If you let your guard down, Ein Adam Nitzel Mehen B'chol Yom. That's one way of looking at it. The other way, Ein Adam Nitzel Mehen, is as a hirur, as a pop-up. Hirur
I was saying
Avera,
by then,
the
yeah.
thought comes up. Iyun Tefillah means to stay focused, mamish, for the entire davening, every word. It's a hard job. So what happens? You fall off, you go back, you fall off, but you're not choosing to not stay engaged in davening. And that's why the Alter Rebbe leaves off Avak Lashon Hara, because Lashon Hara is already a dibur, and he already, so das Kenshin Yirzayin. That's already, but whatever.
And third one is Bitul Torah.
No, Avak Lashon Hara. Hirur Aveira, Iyun Tefillah. In this one, it's Avak Lashon Hara. Ra, however, so now the Alter Rebbe introduces Shalazeh for this Indian of the temptation that pops up into his mind, the Hirhure Aveda that come up to his mind. There's a solution. There's an antidote. Shalazeh Moyer Harishimu B'Moichin. There's a trace of the davening. What is the trace? The trace is the commitment to do the right thing. Yiras Hashem, ve'avasa, hamsuteres b'chol la'imoni. That ava mesuteres. The hisgaber v'lishleit al hara hazeh mis'avatayva, to overpower these temptations. V'lias le'shlita v'mshala ba'ir, la'itzi tavasi mikeach al ha'poyel. Not to allow him to actualize. L'slavish be'vari aduf. Afilu b'meichel levado. Not even in his mind. Laharer berah, to think about bad things. Ein le'shlita v'mshara, laharer chas v'sholom, b'rtsoynoi sheb'moichay, to willingly engage in fantasy. Sheyekabel b'rotzen chas v'sholom, hirur zeh hara, ha'oyle me'elov me'alev l'me'ach kanal. Elo, what happens? Miyad ba'ali yasi l'shom, as soon as it goes up to his mind, he pushes it away with two hands. Rabbi Nissen Nebenov used to say, Rabbi Yisroel Friedman used to repeat it many times. Deichehu b'shtei yadayim means shtei yadayim. It's like when you put your switch, when you put your finger on a light switch on Shabbos, and you remember it's Shabbos. You jump off. That's deichehu b'shtei yadayim. Complete. The Wolf Greenglass has a word over here. He says, Ava and Yira are the right hand and the left hand. The Rishimu of the right hand and the left hand are Netzach and Hoyd. So the Cheyu B'shtei Yadayim mean you use Netzach, like, no, I worked so hard, I'm not giving up. I'm not going to let you win me. Like, you have that edge from Netzach and Hoyd that you're able to. Umasiach Raite, he distracts himself. Miyad sheniskar shohirura. The moment the Eine Mekable Beratzen, he doesn't accept it. Afilu laharer be Beratzen. Not even to think. But of course, it doesn't occur to him to do it. Afilu ledaber be. Kamaharer Beratzen, a person who willingly fantasizes. Nikra Rasha Beisusha. I just want to say that here the word hirur isn't only like what in Perek Yud Aleph when hirur meant about a particular type. It means any type of any trace of a thought about any aveira. But the Alter Rebbe here uses the word hirur versus machshava. Hirur means unintentional. It popped up in my mind. Machshava means I thought about it. In Perek Yud Aleph, when the Alter Rebbe uses the word hirur, he's speaking specifically about machshavas niyuf. That's the way, and it's say v'chein. Now the Alter Rebbe continues. V'chein b'dvarim shema. Now, how did he do all this? He did all of this with his mind. So the Alter Rebbe is going to say like this: interpersonally, this ego. When someone hurts you, you get offended. It hurts. Your mind is meant to control your heart. What does that mean? The Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch that if you have a mitzvah that, as if if you see someone's donkey collapsing under its load, you have to help. What the Gemara says, what happens if you see two donkeys? One belongs to your father, one belongs to your teacher. Well, right? What do you do? Then what happens if you have two? One is of your enemy and one is of your friend. It's a din in Shulchan Aruch. You have to go to your enemies first, right? To help him out.
Yeah, because you don't lose a friend, but
Right there, in other words, that's the mind is overriding, controlling
your friend will never
the emotional hurt, the frustration. Like that's the Beinoni's job, is to control his emotion. He says, Miyad, the moment she'ela me'alev lameach, is a tina v'sina, some type of jealousy, envy, chas v'shalom, is a kina, a kas, so hate, tina v'sina is hate, kina is jealousy, a kas, a kpeda. Kas is in your heart, it's a passionate anger. Kpeda is like when someone says, I'm disappointed in the other person. You're not emotional about it, but in your mind, you have a cheshbon, right? So when there's a kas, a kpeda vidumein, einen the kaplan klaba mechev, you don't accept it at all. I just want to say, in this world, you have a type of person, you have certain people, they can take any situation, and they, someone, and they could turn it into, like, right? In other words, let's say, no, I'm saying, right, Lamoshel. Let's say you had a doctor's appointment, and you missed the appointment, or you came late. You walk into the doctor's office, the doctor says, you're not a mensch. You're not a mensch. Why? You should have called me. Why? Because you know what you're doing. But for me, you were supposed to be here at 9 o'clock. Now it's 9:01. What happens now? I'm in limbo. The whole time my heart is, he's coming, he's not coming. Could I do something else? Could I not do something? The fact that you didn't call me, you're a Rosh Marusha. You don't respect me, and you don't, get out of my office, I don't want to see you ever again. You have people that could take any, right? A tiny little thing and turn it into, like Pisim Ramses, right? I asked you to do something, you're not even listening to me. So now the Rebbe is saying, so there it's the magnifying, right? You have people who have a chush, they know how to zoom in on the smallest thing and to magnify it, and who knows what you touched me in the smrongir. Now the Rebbe is saying, mamish the opposite, a person you know and he hurt you and Pashit, treat him as if he did you a favor. He says, he refuses to allow himself to get enraged. He refuses to get himself schlepped into hate and whatever, like no way. Controls himself. He behaves mamish the opposite of what would have been. He treats him kindly, and not only that, but he treats him in such a way that the other person knows that he's being kind to him. Right? I'm showing you that I'm being kind to you. That I'm not making, it's not
like a server in Starbucks.
It's not a natira.
But himself is kind of, because he was told to be nice.
Doesn't matter.
It's boring, like you cannot have attachment.
No, it's an avodah. Look what he says here. Look, Al Rebbe answers your question. Lizbel mimenu. He's suffering from it. The guy he's in your room in the dormitory, snoring away. His socks smell. The whole room is a mess. And your mamish Lizbel Akze Achlin.
What did you ever do to him?
You don't get angry. The gam. You don't pay him back. The Rebbe asks here a shaila. I don't understand. You're saying that you shouldn't be emotional, you shouldn't do this. You gotta tell me that you're not gonna get back to the guy. Of course you're not. The Rebbe says like this. The mashal is not from the Rebbe. I'm saying there's a din in halacha, right? Everyone knows. In Kibbutz Avayim, what does the Gemara say? If your father throws your wallet in the water, right? The Gemara in Kiddushin. Zorak, Arnaki, and so you don't say anything. I think Tosfos says you could take your father to Bezdin. Right. He ruined your money. In other words, he caused you a hezek. So when Al Pi Din, what do you mean? The guy crashed my car. I'm going to take money from him. He owes me money. He's got to fix it. Even then, later I'm like, well, why? Because he's God's agent. Ella, I don't mean to cause anyone anxiety. Ella aderabe, the opposite. Ligma lechayovim tovis. The people who are really, they deserve to be hushed in the nerves. Tovis. Because of the Zeh, like the Zeh says, Limud mi Yosef v'Nechov. What's the pshat? Limud mi Yosef v'Nechov. It's not just to learn from Yosef and his brothers, but by Yosef and his brothers, it came out the Golui. What did Yosef say? It wasn't your plan. It was the Abish's plan. You see, it worked out. It worked out good. It was better for me. Here, even before you know that it's going to be better for you, to believe with complete faith that this guy is the Abish's shliach. So what the guy did for me was a good thing. I needed that to happen to me. So that's the lesson of Yosef and Mechel. Not Yosef and Mechel, you should accuse him of a spy. And other things. Obviously, in this, it comes out from here, like, it's such a madrega. But the Alter Rebbe is saying, no. This is not madrega of Tzadik Omer. The Alter Rebbe says, if you're in the fight, if you're here to win, this is the way it's got to be. You got to be